Confirmation Ministries coming back at you, screaming the Father. This is Raver Shepherd. We now jump into the 6 days of creation for time's sake, because that's about 20 verses there. What I'm going to do is just give an overall structure of the passage and give a literary framework, how Moses developed or composed this particular passage of scripture so that we can better interpret and understand what he is saying to the children of Israel. Now, we have scientific ideas. We live in a postmodern era where science has become king, and we judge everything. Most people do scientifically. So what I would like to say first and foremost about this passage and about the Bible as a whole, is not a scientific textbook. So if you bring evolution or understanding of evolution to the Bible and try to interpret it from that framework, that's incorrect. Moses had nothing to do with that. He had no idea of evolution, no idea of the science involved in evolution. For him, Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, was the creator. End of story. So we must stay in Moses' mind. We must stay in Moses' framework in order to really understand God's revelation to us today. So Moses was writing to the children of Israel during their 40 years of wandering, coming out of Egypt, trying to prevent them conform their mind to God's revelation, because they were coming out of these myths, going into the land of Canaan where these myths were. So he wanted to protect them. So he gave them a Genesis story, a creation theology. And so we ought to interpret it as such. There's a word called anachronism, where we bring our ideas to the text. We can bring our idea of how the world started, evolution, and begin to interpret these 6 days of creation as an evolution, as a scientific, mechanical development of the world that excludes God. That's absolutely in error, incorrect, inaccurate. We should interpret this text the way Moses intended us to interpret it, not as science. The Bible is not a scientific book. If you want science, the Bible doesn't give you a science that's excluded from God. God is the creator. Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is the one who brought all of existence into reality. So Moses structures this 6 days. He gives us a 3-stage 6-day creation. And what I mean by that is day 1 correlates to day 4. Day 2 correlates to day 5. Day 3 correlates to day 6. And the final day is God's resting day, his Sabbath. So what we have in these passages is a 3-stage 6-day creation narrative, not an evolution. We don't want to be anachronistic. We don't want to bring our ideas, our modern ideas, into the text and interpret it from an evolutionary standpoint. What we want to do is let the Bible interpret itself. So what I've done, I've included some notes there on the web page. It's going to be listed under 3-day, 6-stage creation, and it's going to give you a development or a structure in which Moses structured these 6 days. He gives us a 3-day, 6-stage creation story. Or, excuse me, a 3-stage, 6-day creation story. Confirmation Ministries, screaming the Father.